Welcome to the How to Heart Show, helping men reconnect to the heart and empower others as the leaders they were born to be. I'm Vincent Hazenboom. My mission is to help you speak your truth, own your authenticity, and step into your power. The world needs the raw and authentic man right now. Join us if you're ready to make a change. Hey, what's up, Lions, and welcome to the How to Heart Show. I'm with a really an amazing guest. It's with Elvira V Hopper, and it's really cool how we've met. We happened to meet on a virtual dinner party online, and I got so attracted to Elvira, especially with her energy and the way she talked, and really where she comes from, that I had to interview her and really know more about her because we talked a little bit, and I'm more curious about her story. So Elvira is check my notes first. Is an expert on unique heart self-centeredness, if I say it correct,
Yeah,
and it's
I would say that. Yeah.
yeah, it's for personal development. And what I really like about Elvira is that she really talks from the heart and really connect to the heart. But most of all, what's really important is how she got there. So I really want to go deeper in her story and how she got to her heart-centered personal development. So Elvira, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me, Vincent. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. So can you share us in a nutshell who Elvira is and your journey towards your heart-centered personal
Mm,
development?
yeah, yeah. First of all, I love what you're doing, Vincent, and
Thank
it
you.
is so needed right now in the world. And there are so many people, and specifically a lot of men that need this inner work. And you are facilitating transformation just by having these conversations. And I honor you deeply, my brother. I really
Thank you.
love what
I
you're
really
doing.
appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. So my story, Vincent, is one of the little girl who couldn't be herself. And who did she need to become in order to be loved, in order to be cared for, and in order to succeed in the world, according to her parents' view of the world, right? So my daddy, he was an incredible artist. He could sing like Pavarotti. His voice was beautiful. Like, oh, sorry, I'm just thinking about him right now. He's been gone 11 years, but just a gorgeous, gorgeous voice. And the mindset in his family was that good people are not on stages. Good people are good husbands and fathers and providers, and or good mothers, wives and mothers and providers, right? So that was the thinking that my father grew up with. His sister was on world-class opera stages, and when she got married, she was told to hang up her opera gown and put on an apron, and now she can't step foot on another opera stage ever again. Why? Because good wives and mothers take care of their families. They're not on stages, right? So you see the thinking that was going on in my dad's family, him and his sister. They could sing like birds, but they weren't allowed to do it. One wasn't allowed to do it very long. The other one never got to do it. My dad never even got to step on a world-class stage. But and then fun fact, my grandparents had 7 grandchildren. Sorry, they had 7 children, and I was one of their grandchildren. But they had 7 children, and 4 out of the 7 were world-class artists. So 2 of them were dancers, and 2 of them were singers. So I happen to get both of those gifts. I'm a dancer and a singer, interestingly enough. But the fact is that they weren't allowed to be themselves. They were too busy parent pleasing, which turns into people pleasing later in life. Okay, so remember that. Parent pleasing turns into people pleasing. And so that's what my dad was around, and that's all he knew, right? So when I was 11 years old, I went to this very cool cabaret show. I was 11 years old. We immigrated to Canada when I was 5. I was a skinny little kid, but now I'm 11 years old, and I've become very rotund, okay? Because my parents were not happy immigrating from Italy to Canada, and they were constantly arguing and wanting to go back to Italy. And so I did not have a very happy upbringing. And because of that, I ate. I ate my emotions, right? Can anyone in your audience relate to eating their emotions? So I became this rather rotund little child. So here I am, and I'm in this cabaret show because I love singing and dancing since I leapt out of the womb. That's what my mother told me. Anyway, I was singing and dancing before I was walking and talking. But anyway, so now I'm in this audience. God knows why I was there, Vincent. Either my father stuck me there for the night because he was babysitting me because he worked in the restaurant downstairs, or I insisted on going to see this show that was playing at my father's, place of work upstairs. And he brought me because he just got tired of listening to me saying, hey, Daddy, I want to go, I want to go. Anyway, which of those two I don't remember. But here's the meat of the story. I'm sitting there in the audience. I'm watching these goddesses up on stage singing and dancing. Remember who I am, right? I've got this in my blood. My father came from a family of singers and dancers, right? So anyway, I'm watching them, and I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I knew that I wanted to be one of those people. So my dad comes and gets me, and he sees the stars in my eyes. He sees the excitement in my face. And I guess he wants to show off a bit because it's his little daughter, right? Not so little daughter. I was rather big. Anyway, so he goes, "Oh, Elvira, would you like to meet them backstage?" I was like, "What? I can meet them?" Vincent, I felt like I was going to meet the queens of the universe. Okay. So my dad brings me backstage. These women, these goddesses look at me and they were like, "Joe, this is your daughter. Oh, she's so beautiful." And I'm like, "I'm beautiful? I'm a fat little Italian kid. Remember what I look like, right?" I said, "You're beautiful for telling me I'm beautiful." So I loved them even more, Vincent. I felt seen for the first time in my life. I felt like they got me and I got them. And I was literally just a few years behind them, right? So I'm 11 and they're probably in their 20s or 30s. I'm just a few steps behind them. So that was it. I knew what I wanted to be in my life. Well, guess what happened? I walk away with my dad. My dad, who could sing like Pavarotti, remember, never did anything with his voice, made really good money in his field. And I look at him and I said, "Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up." So, Vincent, based on what I just told you, tell me what you think my dad said.
Phew, that was one. It's a difficult one. I'm not
Say that
sure.
again.
It was a difficult one, a difficult question. I'm not sure. I think it's a cleaner or something else. Just
Yeah. Okay. Well, he could have said that, but here's what he actually said, Vincent. He said, "Elvira, you can't be one of those women because those women are sluts." And that was it, Vincent. I
oh
wasn't allowed
wow.
to be me anymore. Little 11-year-old Elvira said to herself, "Daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me?" And that's when parent pleasing started. That's when people pleasing started. That's when imposterhood started. That's when living out of alignment started. That's when I chose not one, but two solid healthcare careers because they wanted me to be a doctor. I didn't have the marks to be a doctor, but I got into a field that was medical. So first I worked in a hospital lab and I was assisting cancer research. And then I got plucked out of that to do pharmaceutical sales for 20 years because I wanted to slit my wrists after 7 years of being in a hospital lab. Both of these careers were not who I was. Who I was deep down, I was a coach. I was a speaker. I was a healer. I was a transformational force for good on the planet. Guess what I'm doing today? All of that. And fun fact, when I had my last 2 years of corporate were a total shit show. Okay, so because I lived so out of alignment, the universe wanted to wake me up and get me out of that life to go live my truth today, what I'm doing now. But I wasn't listening. So this is what Oprah says: first the universe whispers, then it talks, then it shouts, then it hits you over the head with a frying pan. Okay, so if you're not listening to the universal signs all along, you will get hit over the head with a frying pan, either through physical illness, mental illness, relationships falling apart. I've seen it over and over and over. And I had all of those things. Okay. So my last 2 years of corporate were a shit show. I had depression, anxiety, panic disorder, bipolar, a marriage on the skids, and suicidal ideation at the lowest. I was being bullied corporately. I attracted another bully socially, and I went to a dark place for 2 solid years. Well, guess what? It's exactly what I needed. to get me out of that life because I couldn't do that life anymore. I was making six figures. They had me by golden handcuffs, but I was not living my truth. I was living so out of alignment. And when we live out of alignment, fun fact, guys, when we live out of alignment, we have a kick me sign on our back. And you know what? People kick us. But
Yeah.
when we learn to tear that kick me sign off our backs, you know what? People don't kick us. And that's what I learned. I realized that if this guy's bullying me at work and now I've got a kick me sign on my back, and this woman is bullying me socially, who's the common denominator? Me. I realized that at my rock bottom, when I asked for a way out, that wasn't drugs, that wasn't therapy, because at that point, I saw what drugs did to my dad. My dad, also having lived out of alignment, had a nervous breakdown in his 50s. He got bullied at work and he couldn't deal with the situation. He had to go on lorazepam for the rest of his life, which is a very strong anti anxiety drug. I was a drug rep. I knew what drugs did to our body. My father was on that drug for about 20 years. When he died 11 years ago, his liver was massive. So I know what drugs do to our body. No disrespect to anybody that takes drugs, but it wasn't going to be an option for me. Also, when I was a new mommy, my son is 28, doing very well today. Thank you very much. But when I was a new mommy, I had mommy issues. So I had to go to therapy for 2 solid years to get over my mommy issues. Well, guess what? Therapy works. My mom is my best friend today at 84. Okay. But it took me 2 years to get there. Okay. So I'm a believer that therapy works. It just is a modality that takes a long, long time. And so when I hit my rock bottom and all the other personal development I'd done up until that point, Vincent, I had done Tony Robbins. He helped me when I left the lab to go into big pharma. I was in a dark place. Tony Robbins' teachings helped me. Then as I was struggling when I became a drug rep, and I struggled throughout the years, I did this thing called Landmark Education. Are you familiar with Landmark?
No.
No, okay. It's a personal development system around the world. And I did that. So it helped me at various points. And then I'd been Catholic my whole life. So religion was sort of a, I want to say it was a bit of a numb out, right? Like I numbed out on the fact that God's out there, he could take pity upon me, this poor sinner, right? Religion didn't work for me at rock bottom because literally I said to my higher power, give me a way out of this hell. That's not drugs, that's not therapy, that's not anything I've tried before, or give me a way of killing myself. I literally thought, Vincent, that my one and only child was better off without me in his life. That is how sad I was. That is how anxious I was. That is how panic stricken I was, that I didn't want to live anymore. However, I was meant to live. I was meant to get through that and to show people that they can get through it too. And the system that came through me, because I tell people I'm a smart lady, but I'm not that smart. The system that was divinely gifted to me did save my life quickly, naturally. My marriage, I went from having depression, anxiety, panic disorder, bipolar, suicidal ideation to totally fine. It's been like this for over 12 years and counting. No drugs, no therapy. A freaking miracle. So, when it saved my life and my sanity, oh, and the best, funnest fact of all, it helped me to become a professional jazz singer at the age of 51. I am like those women on stage. I'm now performing at very high levels, at very for celebrities, with celebrities. I'm now an award-winning jazz artist. I've performed for Oprah Winfrey's man Stedman Graham. If you Google his name and mine on the internet, you'll see me doing my thing with him, singing to him. He invited me to sing, so I sang. Anyway, so these are the miracles that happen when you get, as I like to say, aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. And I believe that when we live that way, Vincent, we will not die with our real music still in us like my father did. My father never got a chance because he didn't have the right mindset that allowed him to leave his darkness. He just went to drugs to numb out. I went to the deeper soul work. My first band, by the way, is called Heart and Soul, jazz duo. So I connected to my heart and soul. Why I wear pink all the time, because pink is the color of the heart, for me anyway. And honestly, I am here. Well, I was told when it saved my life, my sanity helped me achieve my virtual every dream, including my 11-year-old dream of becoming a jazz singer. Exactly 40 years later, I was told, Elvira, this isn't just for you. This is for you to share with the world. And I was like, how the hell do I do that? So I at first didn't know how, and I was coaching people one on one and teaching this system to them, and it was helping them, and people were transforming. And then eventually someone said, Elvira, like, you can't share this with the world one on one. You've got to create a course. So I created my online course, and it's the signature program called the VIP Mindset Reset Online. And when COVID hit, years later, because I was doing this one on one and then I started doing it with courses. But then years later, when COVID hit, two amazing women stepped forward. Eleanor Hayward and Jennifer Hawkins. I'm giving them a shout out because they came together, and both of them were service industry people. So they were, one was a hairdresser and one's a massage therapist. They couldn't do their work anymore because now COVID's hit. And when they came together, they said, Elvira, we believe that we manifested COVID because now we have time to create a 6-month program based on the teachings and tools that saved your life. And we want to create a 6-month program so we can share this with the world. And I was like, I started crying and I was like, oh my God, that is how it gets shared with the world, not through me, through them. So what did they do? They made a beautiful 6-month program. They added their own magic to it as well, their own, modalities that made it even better. And virtually every person that graduates our 6-month program wants to become a facilitator of this work. What does that tell you? It tells you that it works, right? So it's not landmark education in your face. It's not Tony Robbins in your face. I consider those more masculine energy personal development. It is a modality where it is the gentle rain soaks. People join a community for 6 months. They try on the teachings and tools, just like trying on a new coat. If the new coat fits better, they can keep it on. If not, they can take it off. So it's just an invitation to go deeper into their hearts, their souls, and to become all they were meant to be. And when we live aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed, you know what? Our mental health is better. Our physical health is better. Our relationships are better. We can attract our dreams. We become what I call miracle magnets, right? We stop being crap magnets, right? Which I lived for most of my life, attracting all the things you don't want. You start becoming a miracle magnet, attracting all the things you do want. So this is what the miracle magnet movement is about. It's about do the things that keep you in alignment with your higher self, right? So do the things that keep you vibrating at a high level where you do attract miracles. Mine is just one system to get you there, but there's a lot of great systems out there. There's a lot of modalities out there. There's a lot of healing systems out there that can help you do that. And your job is to connect with what keeps you in a high vibration so that you manifest miracles. And I call it your miracle mix, right? I say there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's 8 billion ways to love your vibe and be a miracle magnet. So you need to understand what is it that works best for you. As a heart-centered human, I'll tell you right now, the system that came through me that's now become the foundation of this movement that my growing team is facilitating. I believe it's the best way to do our inner work if you're a heart-centered human and you've been to the dark and you want to live in the light. I believe it is the best system out there. There's a lot of systems out there and I don't know all of them, but I would venture a bet and say that ours is the best system for heart-centered humans to go from being crap magnets into being miracle magnets. And that is what I'm here to facilitate as the leader. So my team is growing. I don't actually facilitate this with groups, but they do. All the groups are 8 people and under, and everyone is safe, seen, celebrated, and supported because we believe that when people feel safe, seen, celebrated, and supported, it's an incubator for healing, for feeling and healing and revealing who you truly are and what you're here to do on the planet. So feel, heal, and reveal who you truly are. That's the magic that happens in this modality, right? But it's just one modality. There's a lot of them on the planet. So I just invite everyone to do the deeper work, to do the inquiry, to become radically self-aware and radically self-responsible and say, okay, I'm not where I want to be. I'm here. I want to be here. What is going to get me there? And you need to figure out what that's going to be. If you're curious, I can support you. We can have a, no obligation conversation. If mine is a system that can help you, great. If not, that's fine too. Go find your thing. So that's what the movement is about. It's just about helping people to live as their aligned, authentic, fully self expressed self so that they can make the world a better place because they were in it. They don't die with their real music still in them. And they can have great mental health, physical health, relationship health, and achieve all of the dreams that were put in them for a reason. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you for sharing. And yeah, what I really want to go a little bit back because you shared so much about yourself, but I really want to touch more about the Elvira when she was younger, and you were really pushed towards in a corner, like you had like you need to be this type of girl in
Yeah.
society for a long, long time. But what I want to ask you is, what was it for you to live there, and how did you get out of that situation? Because I know for myself, I struggled a lot with myself when I was younger, and how to get out of that system or that belief that we have about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, what was it for you, and how did you get out of it?
Yeah. Well, you heard my story. I hit my rock bottom moment where literally I had lived with depression, anxiety, panic disorder, bipolar, and suicidal ideation and a marriage in shambles. I did that for 2 years, and I didn't know what else to do. I was ready to die because I wasn't about to take drugs and I wasn't going to go to therapy again. And so it was that moment of surrender, I'm going to say, Vincent, where I literally said to my higher power, okay, help me out. Can't do this by myself anymore. Because I lived so out of alignment all those years and I was bullied all the time because I had a kick me sign on my back. People that live out of alignment, it shows, right? They are not I want to say they're not vibrating high, right? Like when people talk to me, I am so in alignment and I am a miracle magnet. People give me opportunities all day long. They give me opportunities because they pick up someone that is serving in her own way. It's not about my ego. Like when I'm on stage singing, it's not about me. It's about the audience. What are they getting from this song shared through my voice, through my way of telling that story? And also, I'm a sacred sound healer. I became a jazz singer to become a sacred sound healer. So I help people heal with my voice. So it's not about me, right? But for many years, I lived so out of alignment. And whenever I sang, there was always shame involved, right? Because remember, women on stages are sluts. That was my thinking at that time, right? But and so when I sang, when I got off the stage, if people didn't tell me that I was fabulous, I thought I totally failed, right? Because I was so dependent on outer validation. I needed it like I needed oxygen. Well, when I had my breakdown and breakthrough, I realized I am divine. You are divine. We don't need validation from anything. We don't need validation from a church with God out there. We are all divine beings created from a divine source, here for a purpose uniquely our own. And when I truly started to embody that, because that's what was shown to me, that's when my life shifted. But before that, Vincent, my life was a shit show. And I did not, as a little kid growing up, there was always shame whenever I performed. There was always, I'm not good enough because I was always looked at like, what are you doing? So one year, the one good year I had when I was in the lab, working in the lab, was I got to dance professionally. I got to be a cheerleader for our football team here in Toronto. Okay, so I had one good year where I was able to be fully self expressed as a dancer. Remember, there's dancing in my family. And so I got to do that one year and be paid for being a dancer. And every time I would go to one of the games, my father would he would just go, "What are you doing? You're going to be out on a field and shaking your behind and your pom poms and you know." I don't remember him using the word slut, but basically that's what he was thinking, right? At that point, I was 25. Okay. So I said, Dad, I love this. I'm going to do it. So I had the courage to do it, even though he didn't approve, right? So it's like I grew up always feeling like artists were people that did their thing on the side for the family. Like my dad sang at all the family events, right? But, my God, you couldn't get on a professional stage because those people were not reputable. They weren't good people, right? Well, guess what? Now I'm on world class stages and my father's been in heaven for 11 years and I've been professional for 10 years. And I don't think he thinks I'm a slut. I think he's proud of me and I think he loves me and I think he helps me every single day. So, anyway, I'm not sure if that answers your question, Vincent.
Yeah, and I want to go more now that you share this with me more on how did you shift that mindset, because you have to also have these feelings like I'm not good enough. You still hear me, see me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
That something happened with you that's that shift. How did you create that shift for you? Because I
Yeah.
know for myself, and I think also for the listeners, like how do you make that shift? Because you tell yourself I'm good enough, but you still don't believe that. So how did you do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I didn't till I had a
Mm,
breakdown, and that was the frying pan to the head that the universe gave me. And the frying pan was, you don't belong in this career anymore. You belong out here as an inspirational leader and a coach and a healer. And that's what transformed it for me. I didn't do it up until that point. So I had to hit my rock bottom where that was the system that was gifted to me. The Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset came through me, and I started having all these shifts, these awakenings, and realizing that I'm a divine being. You're a divine being. Nobody needs outer validation. Let's just do our thing fiercely yet humbly, because it's not about us, and miracles will find us every day. So I've been doing this 10 years professionally. So I'm 61 right now, and I've only been doing it 10 years, and I've had more musical miracles find me than virtually any other musician that I know. Why? Mindset. I am of the mindset that I'm here to serve with my voice, with my talent, with my healing. Other people on stages, it's about them. A lot of them don't even have the courage to get on stage until they've had a drink or popped a pill, and they don't have the courage to do their thing, even though it's their thing to do. They don't have the right mindset around it. So I believe that that's why my father never got the opportunity to be on stage, because he thought that good men are not on stages. So the sins of the father are visited onto the child, right? So the sins of and sins is just like, I want to call it generational trauma. Like my grandparents must have had their generational trauma where they wanted their kids to be very, very proper, get good careers, make good money, and take care of their families, right? So that was the mindset that my grandparents had. They put that onto my father. My father tried to put that on me, and I tried to do it. I did it for 27 years, but I wanted to die at the end, right? So when he told me I couldn't do that because women on stages were sluts, then I said, "Okay, Daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me?" And I realized real fast he wanted me to be a good little Italian Catholic girl, get good grades, get a good career, get a good husband, and give them some grandchildren. Well, guess what, Vincent? I did it that way. It nearly killed me. I tried living his truth. I wasn't living my own truth. So I believe each of us knows what we're here to do. But there's a lot of stories in our head and parents that convinced us that we aren't supposed to be ourselves, that, we don't know what to believe anymore. Well, I'm going to invite you to check out my program, because my program will allow you to connect to your authenticity, to your heart and soul. Name of my first jazz band. And my second jazz band is an award winning jazz band, by the way, fun fact. But I believe that my system, it was told to me, it's not just for you, it's for you to share with the world. So I feel that if all heart centered humans on the planet could learn to love their vibe, could learn to be miracle magnets in whatever way they choose. Remember, there's a miracle mix, whatever keeps you vibing high. I believe we could have heaven on earth. And that's the world that I want to help co create. And I love that you're doing it through your why, through your purpose, by having this podcast, right? You did not have your story for no reason, Vincent. You had to go through that dark in order to transform, to transmute it, and now you're living in the light. So I believe that all of us heart-centered humans have a purpose that's bigger than us. And I actually have a beautiful platform where you can even become a mentor of it and have an extra stream of income very part-time. Hit me up later if you want to learn more about that. But it's really a beautiful system, because when we know as heart-centered humans that our pain was not in vain, that we had to struggle for a purpose, that it's about helping others, because let's face it, on the planet right now, there's a lot of hurting people. And my team is growing, and we want to help people that have struggled with mental health because of COVID. A lot of marriages have broken up. A lot of people haven't wanted to go back to their corporate jobs because they're like, you know what, life is short and I want to do what I'm meant to do, but they don't know what that looks like, right? So I work with people one on one. My team works with groups, and we're all doing the same thing. We're all helping heart-centered humans get aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed, so we can all be miracle magnets and magnetize our dreams to us. So I would say, hey, if you're struggling, just reach out, have a conversation with me, or just check out my website, see if it resonates. But yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I wanted to add is also for the heart centeredness. It's so important to reconnect with the heart because, like you said, we always like with society we need to have this job, and also what you explained, like our parents want us to do something that is safe
Yes,
for us to have
exactly.
like this safe job or this safe
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
But I know, like you and me, eventually it's gonna you're gonna crumble because that's not what you want to do.
yeah,
It's they tell you what you need to do, but in your heart it's something that's something different. So
yeah,
how can people recognize that to really reconnect with the heart and really
yeah,
act from that and start moving with the heart
yeah.
centeredness and really want to do what they want to do?
Yeah, yeah. That takes a lot of courage. I'm going to tell you right now, it takes a
Yeah,
lot of courage, and a lot of people can't do it by themselves. This is why coaches are so popular today. This is why there's a lot of personal
too
development groups
much.
out there. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you need to reach out and get support. It's hard to do on our own. I
Yeah,
mean, a good if you are kind of stuck in, some godforsaken place and you don't have internet, and I don't know how you got to hear this podcast, but anyway, but if you are in a place where you can't really do too much, or maybe there's not a lot of money, I have a lot of free resources. I have a podcast. I have a show. I have a show that's on Amazon and Roku TV. I have two YouTube shows. So there's a lot of free content out there, and obviously you have your content as well. There's a lot of us putting out free content out there that will help people to go deeper and to realize, okay, I'm not happy right now. What can I do to shift it, right? There's a lot of great information for people that are ready to shift. And really for the people that are super serious, invest in yourself. Like I have a course that's
absolutely.
under $300 Canadian. I hope it doesn't break the bank. Yesterday I talked to a gentleman who, Elvira, I want this course so bad right now. Send me the link. I'm going to pay for it while I'm talking to you right now on the phone. He just made me laugh. He was so excited to get going on this program because he sees me, he watches me, and he knows that my story is real. Like I was a crap magnet. I am a miracle magnet today. What is the way that got me there? This unique system, and he can learn it too, and he's been in dark places very similar to me. So anyone that struggled with mental health, anyone that struggled with their relationship, like my marriage nearly split 3 different times because when I lived out of alignment, I nearly killed my marriage 3 different times. Ego ran my show. Today, my higher self runs the show. My marriage is heaven on earth today. We just celebrated 34 years and it's heaven on earth. But trust me, for most of it, it was horrible because I live so out of alignment, right? So I invite people to look at their lives and see, how are you showing up in your life? Do you have great mental health? Do you have great physical health? Do you have a great relationship you're happy with? Do you know your purpose? Do you know your bigger why? And you know what why stands for in my books, Vincent? Why? Okay. The world helped or healed by you. WHY. That is your why. So each of us has a purpose. And if we're not connected to our purpose on a daily basis, we are going to struggle. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to reach out and look for band aid solutions. Okay.
Hmm.
SOL solutions.
Numbing yourself.
And numbing yourself out, exactly. Mine is a personal development solution. It works with your heart and your soul, and it helps you to connect with who you truly are. And who you truly are, I believe, is a shiny star. Nobody was brought here by accident. Everybody has a purpose. And your unique purpose is to discover your unique purpose and to humbly serve the world with it in whatever way, shape, or form aligns with you. Even if you're working a corporate job, you can still do your purpose on the side. So, this is the value of doing this inner work to discover why you are here. How is the world going to benefit from you?
And what I really like to add is what you really nicely explained is the purpose, because we think we are born on this world and to work for this society, to work for a boss. but that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to create, to
Yes.
make something better for nature, for
Yes.
mankind, and not this slave society that we are being
Amen.
forced to.
Amen.
So that was for me the same. I was always like confused. I was not knowing what I had to do, and like you said, I had to need to go through these rough moments in my life to
Yeah.
figure out like, hey, I have a story to tell. I have
Yeah.
something to tell, so I can help other people. And there's so
Exactly.
many people out there that have a similar story or another story that they can share with the world and help other people because we think we are alone, but we're not. We have such similar stories, and
Mm.
that's so nice that we can help each other instead of fighting
Yeah.
each other and all of that. But
Exactly.
Elvira, I have two questions, and I think the first one I think is the most important one because you've also been working with the big pharmas medication. What can you tell about it? More like not people yes or no to use, but the danger of it. It's because I see it with a lot of people. They take medication and they
Yeah.
take more damage. It can sometimes misdiagnose them. So I want to
Yeah.
maybe you can share a little about your experience and what the people can do because there's also plant medication as well that you can
Yeah.
do or sound healing. There's so many ways
Yeah.
that can help
So many
us. So
modalities. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
what is your point of view on that?
Yes. So my point of view, and I'm slightly biased, obviously, because I was in big pharma, and now I'm over here as a more holistic practitioner. With I have a lot of healing modalities. I'm a certified meditation teacher. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I'm a Reiki healer, a sound Reiki practitioner. I'm a jazz singer turned sound healer, as I mentioned, and it's. There's so many ways where we can feel and heal, not through the standard Western care, which is drugs and therapy. Okay, so there's
Mhm.
other ways out there, and I think this is why we need to come out of the woodwork and share these modalities with the world, because there's a lot of people struggling, and there's not enough Western care to go around. And personally, I know what drugs do to our body. I've studied drugs very well as a APMR, right? I'm an accredited professional medical representative, so I know what they do to our bodies, and I never wanted to take drugs when I hit my rock bottom, no matter how bad I was feeling. I literally was ready to die before taking drugs. Now, that's pretty serious, right? I thought my one and only child was better off without me in his life. Like, how crazy is that, right? So, drugs were not the answer for me, and I don't believe they need to be for others, right? Remember, I saw my dad, his liver was like massive when he died because that's what drugs do to our liver, right? They inflame it. It's just what happens, right? And this is no disrespect to anybody who's taking drugs right now. Honestly, I don't want to disrespect anybody. I'm
Nice.
just saying that there are other ways, and I am a huge advocate for other ways. And I also give these people a way of sharing these other ways on my platform with the world, because it's hard to shout your little thing from the rooftop. But if we all bring our candles together, we have a giant flame and we can have more impact on the planet. So I truly believe in all the different modalities. Whatever's helped you can help someone else. And your story, your message, your magic gives other people hits, hope, inspiration, and tools. Your magic, your modality, right? So, this is what we get to do. And as heart centered humans, it's our duty to help humanity. You're a heart centered human. I'm a heart centered human. We didn't go through our pain in vain. Our story happened for us, not to us, so that we could help others. And this is who I want to speak to. And if anybody resonates with this, I really want to speak to you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really wanted to add as well with the medication. There's so many other ways, and the thing
Yeah,
is, when we take medication, we suppress the symptoms. We're not healing
exactly.
ourselves,
You
and I
deaden.
think
You deaden yourself. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what I've learned also with myself is I did on pornography. There was also numbing for me as well, but
Yeah.
underneath there was traumas,
Yeah.
inner child traumas. I
Exactly.
could also take pills to suppress it, but it's not gonna help me.
It's a band aid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you need to
Yeah.
rip it off eventually,
Rip it
and then you need,
off. Get
yeah,
a
and
solution. Get a solution.
exactly.
Yes.
But it's hard. I
Yeah.
know it's
No, it's
difficult,
not
and I know
easy. Yeah.
no, but we need to do it. And
Yeah.
what you said, what I really like is to take the courage, to take the first step to say enough is enough. I want to
Yeah.
change my life. what I really want to ask is, how do we create and manifest that magic? Because I wanted to ask you this because you have like, I manifested this, I manifested this. Like,
Uh,
how? How do we
how?
do that?
Well, that's a great question. When you start living as your aligned, authentic, fully self expressed self, right? You're not holding back. I get to be a jazz artist. When I became a jazz artist, everything in my life got better. My marriage got better. My mental health got better. I was healthier. I was happier, right? Because I was able to be fully self expressed. Well, when you go deeper and you realize, okay, what am I here for? Who am I really? And can I live aligned, authentic, and fully self expressed? Yes, I can. And when you believe that, your life starts shifting. You start attracting better things to you. You'll notice people out of the blue giving you opportunities, giving you awards. Hey, I want to hire you for my next album. Hey, I want to give you, I want to give you my business. Like, there's all these incredible things that happen, and you don't even go looking for them. You just show up aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed on your, I call it your VAP, vibration of authentic power. So just to put it in perspective, what is your VAP? On a 0 to 10 scale, okay, if we think about all of our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, all carry a vibration, right? This was shown by, the experts in law of attraction, also Dr. David Hawking's Power versus Force. All of our feelings, emotions, activities, interactions, they all carry a vibration, right? Are you familiar with that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So on a 0 to 10, this is what I talk about. If you're living between a 7 and a 9, your life is amazing. You're living with joy. You're living with laughter. You're living with love. You're living with gratitude. You're living with community. You're living with those high vibration, feel good emotions, right? When you're living at a like 2 or a 3, like I used to live for most of my life, right? I lived with guilt, shame, anger, despair, ego, all of those horrible things. Well, when you're living down here, you're a crap magnet. When you're living up here, you're a miracle magnet. So it's just a shift in thinking. It's about when you're vibrating low, okay, how can I love my vibe in this moment and shift my vibration? What do I have to process? It's not about spiritually bypassing your emotions. You want to feel your emotions. Remember, feel and heal to reveal who you truly are, right? So you want to process down here, but you also want to shift as soon as you're able to, as soon as it feels aligned, and get back into your VAP between 7 and a 9. I tell people, if you live in your VAP 90% of your life is freaking awesome. If you live 10% out of it, that's okay. That's life, right? However, here I am, the master of loving your vibe. I live in my VAP 98% of the time because I've been doing this for 12 years. And when I'm out of it 2% of the time, it feels so crappy. I just got to get back into my VAP again. And then life starts taking off. If I start attracting crappy things and I'm like, okay, I'm out of alignment, what do I need to do? I know how to get here quickly because I've done the inner work so much. It's become a part of who I am. So my invitation is to all heart-centered humans to learn how to be miracle magnets. My system teaches it. I teach it online in 3 hours or under. Like I said, under $300 Canadian, it doesn't break the bank, but you create your own blueprint on how you get to be a miracle magnet forever. I teach you how to do it. It's transformational. Then it's the practice of it day after day that allows your brain to actually transform. Because studies have shown us that when you start thinking and behaving in a different way, over 6 months, your brain actually rewires. It rewires for better things, right? So this is proved by science, right? It's a system that saved me at rock bottom, but it's actually been proven on lab equipment. So one of my dear friends, Dr. Larry Farwell, he is a Harvard-trained neuroscientist. He said he wrote a book called The Science of Creating Miracles. Check it out on Amazon. And he's proven on lab equipment that what saved me at my rock bottom is actually backed up by science. So that was really, really cool when he told me that. And he said, Elvira, you are a miracle manifester of the highest order on the planet. And you know what? I was gifted this. I didn't make it up. And I'm here to share it with the world. Anybody can do it too. Okay, I'm just an example. So does that answer that question, Vincent?
Yeah, I really for also for myself, because I've been like struggling with people. There's so many manifestors for people that want to help you manifest what you want.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do I do this? This is so difficult. And people say, yeah, just like the secret, like, yeah,
Yeah.
just think about it and it come to you. But there's so much more to it.
There's
It's not
more. There's more.
exactly.
You've got to be aware of your personal vibration.
Yeah,
You've got to connect to your divine beingness. You need to be connected to your higher self, your higher purpose. This is what allows you to just show up in a very bright vibration. Okay, even if you can't see me bright, you could probably feel my energy. I have a bright vibration, right? And this is what allows people to give me the things that I've asked for, because it's like the universe says, okay, Elvira's ready for this now because she's gone deeper. She's healed even more trauma. Now she's ready for this piece, right? So miracles happen every day to me. I literally do not go by one day without a miracle happening. People are constantly at my door, giving me things, offering me things, making my life easier. I don't work a day in my life. I have a team behind me that does all the things in my business that I'm not good at, that I don't want to do. I always tell people, if it ain't in your JPG zone, it ain't your job, right? And what does JPG stand for? Joy, passion, and genius. Because when you're in your joy, passion, and genius, you're in your VAP. You are vibrating at a high level. You and spirit are working together, right? So, vibration of authentic power. What's the opposite of authentic power? Ego power. You don't want to be vibrating at ego power level. You want to be vibrating at authentic power, because that's divine power that comes through you, and you are an instrument of the divine. And that's how I see my life. I'm not living for just myself. Yes, I have a damn good life and I'm very happy, but I'm living to serve humanity in my own unique way. So,
that's. I feel like that's so important. Also, first to let go, and
yeah.
also let go people that doesn't serve you,
Thank you.
and also to be aligned with yourself, because we do
Yes.
usually things for others in a way
Yes.
not to please ourselves, not to do
Yes.
something for ourselves.
Right.
So
That's a
yeah,
trauma response. It's a trauma response.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I've seen it also with myself,
Yeah.
that I was pleasing people, and it's not gonna get you anywhere. We think it's gonna help us and help them, but you're only gonna push yourself in the ground, because you do more and more and more, and you're not
Yes.
gonna do it for yourself. And what I really want to say is, living on purpose, living from your passion is the best
Yeah.
way to live, guys.
Yeah.
Really, you see
Yeah.
Elvira, it's the best way, and you can do
Yeah.
it too. So
Yeah.
I want to ask you for, what can people do to take those first steps towards the
Yeah.
alignment towards themselves and live from the heart.
Yeah, I love that. Well, actually, this is a beautiful segue into the free gift that I have, because I do have a free gift. If you go to my elvirahopper.com/linktree, you can access Elvira's free gift. And what does Elvira's free gift give you? It gives you the 4 circles of personal power. It is a concept that was divinely gifted to me 2 years after I got the Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset, and it helped me turn my life around, where I was able to let go of the people that I did not feel safe with, that did not see me. I did not feel celebrated or supported. This is why it's so important to have people in your corner where you feel safe, seen, celebrated, and supported. That's what we do with the Love Your Vibe transformation. But my 2 best friends of almost 40 years, I did not feel safe with them. I did not feel celebrated, supported. I did not feel seen by them. When I became a professional jazz singer at the age of 51, they basically rejected me because I triggered them. They were both musicians who never did anything with their music. So when they saw me on a world class jazz stage recording my first jazz album, they could not believe it. And they made me feel like I was this freak, and they looked at me like I had 3 heads. Well, guess what? They didn't belong in my life anymore. So I learned how to love them from a distance. So this exercise that I teach free online, you don't have to pay anything. Just go to elvirahopper.com and grab it, or elvirahopper.com/linktree. That has even more goodies there. But grab that exercise and do it. And take back your power from anybody who told you you're not allowed to do that. Just like my father told me I couldn't be a singer on a stage. I'm doing it now, right? So it's about listening to your truth, your heart, your soul, and saying to all the other people, okay, I can learn to love you from a distance, because if you don't allow me to be me, you don't deserve to be in my inner circle. So I invite people to consider that they can put people in their far outer circle. Or, as I say, you can fuck them with love and light, far outer circle, right? So it's a way of loving people from a distance. Even if they're in your family, you can have an energetic boundary between them so that you're not affected by them anymore. It's a powerful exercise, and I invite people to check it out for free.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elvira. And there was a last question that came to me that I wanted to ask you is self-love. How
Mm,
important it is to love yourself, also others, but to put yourself on the first place? Because I say it in my episodes, you are the first person, your priority number one,
yeah.
to be happy, to feel good about yourself. Because some people like, yeah, I need to take care of my family, but you cannot take care of your family if you're
No.
not put yourself on number one.
Yeah.
So how important it is to love
Oh,
yourself?
it's everything, Vincent, right? Like
Yeah,
it's the old analogy, when you go on a plane, what do they tell you to do? Put the oxygen mask on yourself first,
yeah,
because if you lost oxygen and you're trying to help your child, you're going to pass out and then your child dies too, right? So you've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you can serve others. And with the modality that saved my life at rock bottom, Vincent, is so beautiful. I went to a place of self-love so quickly because here's what I realized. I am not junk. My creator did not create me by accident. I have a bigger purpose. And if my creator created me for that and I'm a divine being, how could I possibly not love this being? This is a beautiful being that is here to make a difference on the planet. So when I shifted to that mindset, oh my God. When someone is in self love, they vibrate at a very high level. I love myself. I adore myself. And that might trigger people that don't love themselves, but I'm here to say that you can do it too. It does take work. You've got to go within. Doesn't happen, on its own. You've got to put the effort in. You've got to invest in yourself either by, studying different modalities, see what works for you, but the fastest way to it is by hiring a coach or by joining a group coaching program or a mentoring program. So that is what I want to say about that.
Elvira, thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your energy. You always make my heart sing when we have this
Oh,
conversation.
thank you.
And yeah, for the guys that are listening to this, I know sometimes it can be really hard, especially for guys out there that think
Yeah.
they're not good enough. You cannot do manifesting or the things that you want in life, but you can do it. But you have to start to act from the heart, and you have something special within you that you, like Elvira mentioned, that you have to find and share with the world, because that's so
Yeah.
important. You have such an important story to tell and
Yeah.
to share, to help others, and that's what I saw with myself and with this podcast. I can help as much as I can,
Yeah.
but you're gonna be the one that needs to do it yourself, and we can
Exactly.
help you and give you the tools and tips, but eventually you're gonna have to do it yourself. And that's the first step. That's the
Yeah.
first step. And starting
Yeah.
believing in yourself and know what's
Yeah.
true to your heart.
Yes, yes. Oh, I love what you said. It's gold what you just said there, Vincent. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
you just literally need to have that moment of awareness. I call it your IBTT moment, which is what I had when I hit rock bottom. And it was, I'm better than this. Am I
Exactly.
meant to live like this for the rest of my life? Be bullied over here, be bullied over here. And look, six fingers pointing back at me. Who was the common denominator, right? I realized I was the common denominator. So I was able to tear the kick me sign off my back. So when I tore the kick me sign off my back and I realized that I was a divine being and I started having self-love, you know what happened? Those people stopped bullying me. You know why? Because I stopped bullying myself. So this is what
Yes.
can happen when you have that moment of awareness, your IBTT moment. So if anybody's having an IBTT moment right now, I invite you to reach out on my link tree, set up a chat if you think I can serve you, or learn more about my 6-month mentoring program for that my team facilitates, or just start your journey and get my freebies on my link tree on my website, and start your journey, right? Listening to people like yourself is a great catalyst. And reach out, and it could be me, it could be someone else that helps you, but just know that you're worthy, and you're not here to feel like shit for the rest of your life. When I was feeling like shit for so many years, this guy's bullying me, this girl's bullying me, I thought I was a piece of crap. Honestly, I didn't want to live anymore. And then I had my awakening, my IBTT moment, and I said, look, these people that are hating me and shaming me and making me, a laughing stock at work, socially, they're actually my biggest angels of evolution. They're forcing me to do my inner work so that I can learn to love myself, honor myself, and come out of the dark into the light. So those people, they were my biggest gifts, because if they hadn't treated me that way, you know where I'd still be working right now, Vincent? Big
Yeah, in
Pharma.
corporate. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank God for their bullying me and showing me who I wasn't, and then me deciding who I was. I was better than this situation. So I invite anyone to see that they are better than whatever they're going through.
Perfect. Elvira, thank you so much for your time and effort and being here. And I
No
really,
effort
really
at all.
appreciate it. I really,
Yes.
really appreciate it. So how can
Yeah.
the listeners follow you?
Yeah, so I'm everywhere. You can catch me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. As I said, I have a link tree that has all these great little tidbits that could support you. YouTube shows, podcast, other Amazon Roku show. Yeah, so you can reach out to me any way that feels aligned for you. So. But
Awesome.
do grab my 4 circles of personal power. It will help you to take back your power from anybody who's ever tried to take it, especially your family.
Absolutely. And I will put everything in the show notes. I provide everything for them
Great, great.
to catch you up and see
I'm
what you're
here.
doing.
I'm here to serve. Yes.
So Elvira, again, thank you so much. And guys, please check out her stuff. She can be a bit overwhelming with everything that she's saying, but everything what she does is really, really amazing. And I really invite you to check out her things. And once I connected with her, it's like, wow, she's absolutely amazing. And I
Back
really
at
highly
you.
recommend you to check her stuff out. So guys, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Elvira, thank you so much. And I
Mwah.
will see you in the next one.
Much love, everyone. Thank you, Vincent, for inviting me. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Hey Lions! Thank you for listening on this journey with me to reconnect with your heart. If you like the show, please like and drop a 5-star rating. And to help us keep the show going, consider supporting one of our affiliate offers. How do you raise your vibration? For an easy way to raise your vibration and support your health using biofeedback, check out the Healy tool. I'm a rep for it because I believe in frequency healing. Check the show notes for details. See you next time.